So you know, we received some applauses, but it's not how the life goes actually. We're gonna share something about it. Hopefully you will appreciate this. And I'll start with saying what's the best time to plant a tree. It's 20 years ago. So right now we have a avocado tree growing, but it was planted quite some time ago. I don't know if we're going to go that deep into that story, like how it started.
We have only 20 minutes. So
only 20 minutes, yeah.
I cannot push into like 10 years in that 20 minutes.
Yeah, can't push, yeah. And you know, we cannot tell the truth here because it's big commercial secrets. So let's keep it entertaining and let's kick off with saying the environment in 2024. Venture capital stopped investment, repositioning to AI. AI fees is kind of posing some threats to, you know, vertical SaaS, to enterprise SaaS, and so on. And the investments were halting, but not for Avoko, of course. That was quite an amazing moment. So the first question to kick it off is like, why did you raise and why now?
Okay. So the first thing that I want to mention, like raising in 2024 is much easier than raising in 2022. When we had to raise the Series A. But coming back, why now? Like we started everything but almost 7 or 8 years ago, and we didn't have a big vision then, but we wanted to make a quite big business from that. So when we started that, everything was working quite good. And what we see now that if you think about how big this market is, everybody tries to calculate it. All the VCs, we tried a few times, but in reality, nobody knows because it's so untransparent. There is no data how many parts guys are selling, but we're trying to find it like somewhere between 30 and 100 billions in Europe alone. So we have 250 millions of passenger cars driving around Europe. So think very easy. If we were able to sell 25 euros for each of that car, our company could be evaluated more than 1 billion. So just need to do that. And coming back to the why, think like this. So about 10 years, or even more years, European Union established end-of-life vehicles directive. And it was really shitty. So we just took a car, crashed it, and everything, it looks like, oh, we are recycling and we're reusing and super, everything is working. But now European Union is changing everything. And they are pushing 3 main things. So every country, member of European Union, will have to find a way how to incentivize dismantlers to take more parts from the car. They will have to find a way how to incentivize repair jobs to use more parts to repair the cars after crashes or even in wear and tear. And the third thing, all the parts will have to be traceable to the VIN number and the dismantler. So it looks like sometimes that this law is created for us. So that's why we decided to raise now, because in this year, in the beginning of this year, we reached the profitability level. For sure, it's a management decision to be profitable, but we had a chance to show for everybody, to ourselves, to our investors, that our customers are coming back. We have quite good unit economics. We can grow even without outsourced, money that we are attracting to the company. But now is the right timing to make a fundamentals right, to go from sales-driven company to product-driven company. But what do you need then? You need quite a lot of money to build free products. We're running free products like software as a service for dismantlers, marketplace to buy parts, and shipping as the Vinted goes. So free products requires quite a lot of capital.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty interesting how you build things, unit economy is working, but at the same time, market suddenly evolves in a direction to create some tailwinds. And that's kind of does not happen very often, that you have kind of regulatory push, sustainability, ESG, anything like that happening for you actually. So that's super cool.
Yeah, it could be that we are lucky, but I think it's only the right timing. For sure, we started very many years ago, but nice when government is helping to you and the tailwinds are helping to you, everything is easier because main thing is create the value for customer, then for investors and for the people that work in the company. So it helps to deliver what we promised on the pitching.
Yeah, and I think how this fundamental positioning of Avoko evolved over time, right? Circular economy marketplace for, like, you could probably pack 25 AI assisted, like you could write whatever you want, in your punchline. How was it?
As a Avoko, we are not using a lot of that, for sure. If you're talking with the sustainability fund, highlight the angle of sustainability that you have, but in the end of the day, everybody will be talking about the unit economics, the business that you're making, and how it can be a big, moat is very important. The price that you're paying for the growth is very important. You can try to say that everything is like AI and like all the buzzwords to use, but in the end of the day, in our case, is Series B, so unit economics is most important thing. Can you create a sustainable business that customer loves and pays for your services? That's, I think, most important part. Yes, using the buzzwords sometimes helps, but you have to be aware and check what kind of VC is in front of you. If he is like truly into the details, truly thinking about how to find a unicorn, he will be asking about unit economics. You will not be able to say like, hey, we have sustainability angle, or we just implement a few AI solutions. But if the customer is not paying for that, so what's good from there?
That's true. It's, as Practica, I told this many times, we're not looking for unicorns, we're looking for cockroaches. To invest in someone that lives without a head for a month, can live in outer space and outlive all the competition. So that's, and then one day, bam, and it's a unicorn, right? So that's...
Thank you that you're invested.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was the hardest round. This first investment from Practica was, I think, the hardest.
Yeah, the story that we have with Arvidas is insane. Like, I was not trusting him a lot because, like, who gives 1 million euros for the, like, promise to build something? It's not a loan. And, something is dodgy there. So my experience with VCs was not really the best one in the beginning, but I had quite good coaches, Arvidas and Mantas. They explained how this world works. So, yeah.
And still, we don't understand it, Like, until you return money to investors, you could not give advice. But, but okay, let's come back to the topic of Series B. So I remember Series A was probably the hardest.
Man, trying to raise the money when the war started and you're all the stock have in Baltic states, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
To try to convince the investor when the war started in the neighbor country, hey, we need money to scale our business, but we cannot move our suppliers from Baltic states. And we have a runway for what, 6 months? I remember that was interesting.
And Lithuania, kind of France, the main corridor, passing through, everyone heard of Suwalko corridor back then because...
So I can spoil you because it's already in few talks. We lost a quite decent deal for Series A because of All In podcast that they started. Like, just imagine how crazy those days was. We have a verbal agreement with the state, fund from the States, that we agreed that we will give quite decent amount of money for the decent terms. We agreed everything works well, and they just went silent, started to ghost. And we saw the All In podcast, that whereas 5 minutes, David Sachs was talking. Sachs, pronunciation. Was talking about how Lithuania is starting World War III. And then we got the invitation for the call. But if you raise the money, if you have the invitation for 10 minutes and only one partner is joining, it's no. You just you have to wait and listen. So then we did hey, we called to Doug and say what, man, what is happening? Why? And he said investment committee blocked the deal because of this issue with Kaliningrad. And we have only 3 months of runway and we have to start over. So 2024 with the decent unit economics, fundraising was super easy. Yeah, for us.
Yeah, and Pieton and Wouter, I don't know if he's here, but very, very good investor, believed that at Series A was instrumental to get the money to rally, and we still ended up oversubscribed round, and it was good story from them on. But Series B was very different. You kind of did not even fundraise, but you were already on the radar of many funds. How did that happen?
The lesson that we learned in Series A is our business model is not so clear and not so easy to understand from few calls for investors. You know, like all the stigmas that you can imagine, stolen parts, electric cars are coming, we'll no need any more parts, you know, anti-crash system, self-driving, all those stigmas are in place, and you have to be aware how overcome those challenges in few minutes. So what we did, after Series A, we understood that, oh, it's quite big, you know, challenge to attract the money. So we started the fundraising like after Series A. What does it mean in our terms? Like every quarter, we started to talk with our future possible investors about the things that we are doing and how they will impact our unit economics. And every quarter, we had the catch-up calls and say like, hey, we did it, and it worked like this. Next quarter, hey, we did it, and it worked like this. So we created a trust even before going to the fundraising that we are the company that management understands what we are doing, and they can deliver the promises that we're like using on the pitch. So that ended in the oversubscribed round, and we were able to choose our investor. And main thing why we choose Smash Capital is because Brad, you know, was in the Vinted board. He knows really well Mantas, and we were thinking, okay, we need an additional person in the board who could deliver additional value. So we have Python, who is an amazing investor. We have Mantas, who is an amazing operator of the marketplaces. And so like, hey, we need aggressive guy from the States to have the triangle, you know, diversity. It makes really big sense when you have a board above your head.
And you have Arvidas, a therapist, personal therapist.
That helps survive all the challenges.
Yeah. Good. And what's like the next chapter for you right now? Money raised. Like, can you also a bit describe Avoko how many people know? I think you're one of the few product-led organizations.
No, we are not there yet. But the biggest challenge, but we didn't have quite a lot of money all the time, and we were running free products. So yes, we did some shortcuts, quite big ones, and we want to change because the opportunity is huge, and we see our competitors, how they are doing. So we decided to become a product-led company. And that's, you know, you can read many like articles and etc. But so what we did in different way. Our industry is really, really different, you know, and you have to have people that understands it. But how can you take the person from the street and make it, you know, used part professional in 3 or 4 months? It's insane. I tried to do it. Like I had a tremendous arguments with my product teams about the features that we are building and the problems that we are trying to solve. And we ended in that, how come 2 guys that do not know anything about the product were able to overcome, you know, dominance of classified with the product solution that we built. And the super, super smart people that are joining now are struggling with that challenge. And we understood our experience in the scrapyard, my experience in the scrapyard, and the feedback loop that we had then, like 2 hours feedback loop about the feature that you released, how it solves the customer problem, was the main thing. So what we did? So we established Avoko Lab in Vilnius. We have 1,000 square meters, and our product teams buying cars, dismantling them, and making a business from that. And the last, just imagine how crazy it is. The last example, we launched app like 3 or 4 days ago, and the team the next day had a huge backlog, but they have to fix in different way. It wouldn't be like, okay, we need to give for the test, you know, users. Okay, we need to create a form of feedback. Okay, we need to wait till the guys will fill in everything. Then we will analyze everything. And okay, after 3 months, we know what we should do, or we think we know. And now it's 1 day. And the guys are doing insanely good job there. So I think that approach will increase our ability to become the Okay, the fastest company, at least in Lithuania, in the product side. And that's what we're trying to fix. So also in that lab, we are running competitor software that gives knowledge how they are solving those problems, and that's an amazing thing that investors let us to do.
Yeah, investors, you did it yourself. Investors were just clueless most of the time. But I think we have like 1.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
So like the maybe shifting a bit to the personal side, like, what's Avoko for you as a founder, and do you have a life?
Yes, I have a life.
You exist, I see.
Yeah. So, all the people are asking you a simple question: how you manage your personal life and professional life? I don't. like my advice is to start, or start up a family earlier. Choose by your, own values, because to manage that kind of load that you get, and it's not a workload, it's more mental load. Everybody's coming with expectations. Like, just you take 20 million from the Series B round investor, what do you think he thinks? Oh, how you will make me, 5x in next 3 months, maybe 3 months, 3 years. Yeah, then, many employees are joining the company with their own expectations. So then you have to manage everything. And the main lesson that we learn as a founders, when you take the money from the investor, everybody's celebrating. Like, something great happened to your company. Yes, we convinced 3 dudes from the States that we will be big and we will make the money. Yes, but in reality, we had a profitability event that, first quarter was profitable for us, and nobody's celebrating that, tens of thousands of the customers is coming back to the platform. They find the value, they buy the parts, we create a huge impact for the environment. Nobody's celebrating. But Series B, look how many people are here to listen about the Series B. The Series B is only the tool to achieve the success, but it's a loan that investors giving from your customers that we will have to pay in the future, because with that Series B came many expectations to earn a lot of money. For everything will pay my customers. So, choose wisely.
Choose wisely. Okay, and I think we're out of time. Amazing, it seems like doing a startup is like getting married. You solve problems that you wouldn't have alone.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Arvydas.